My name is Sarah Balfour. I am a beef consultant with an SEC Consulting livestock team, and today I've come to Aberdeen in Northern Mart's Thainston Centre for a walkthrough of what happens on sale day. A trip to the Mart may seem like a daunting experience for new, first-time buyers or sellers, and the aim of this video is to give a better understanding of what happens on sale day, from stock arriving at the Mart to the fall of the hammer and what happens after the sale.
We're currently standing on the loading banks. As any other market, we're all the same. This is where the vendors drop off their stock to be sold. When sheep arrive at the market, the vendor has to make sure they have their licence book and any form of paperwork alongside it as well. When cattle arrive, vendors have to have their passports, any form of paperwork alongside the cattle as well, or the cattle can't be sold in the market. Once the relevant paperwork's been handed over, yard staff are on hand to move the stock from the loading banks to the holding pens. We're now standing in the holding pens. This is where cattle or sheep or any other stock is held before and after the sale. This is a chance for potential buyers to come down and inspect stock closer, because once it enters the ring, it's a very fast process. The potential buyers should come down, inspect the stock, and this is another opportunity to have a budget in mind, because you don't want to be taken into the moment and pay over the odds for them in the ring. The numbers in the pen correspond with the catalogue, so when you're out inspecting the stock prior to the sale, please mark your catalogue and it will indicate how far away and how close the stock are to being sold. The penning area is a tremendous opportunity for sellers to come down and batch their livestock prior to the sale. Batching is how the sellers group their livestock in the way they want them to be sold. Cattle are batched by the likes of weight, age, breed, sex, this is stocks and heifers, males and females. Prime sheep are weighed prior to being penned, so they're already batched by their weight, by their quality, by their breed, so they're in the pens just ready to go into the ring. Store lambs can be penned and drawn just before the ring. They are also drawn by weight, size, breed and sex as well. We're now standing in the weighbridge. This is where the cattle are then brought from the pens and weighed in here by a member of staff. That weight is then displayed on a screen in the ring. That screen also displays the age of the animal, the sex, the breed and the farm assurance status. We're now standing in the sale ring. This is where it all happens. The stock come in from the weighbridge into the ring. They're paraded in front of a ring of buyers. The buyers are seated in the audience here. Cattle, for example, store calves or store cattle are sold mostly in batches. They're sold per head on a per head basis. So if you're buying cattle at £600 in a penfold, that's £600 each, not for the pen. Breeding cattle are a little bit different. If you're buying a cow and calf, also known as an outfit, if it's at £2,500, that's for the pair. So breeding cattle are sold as a group. Sheep are sold on a per head basis as well. If you're buying store lambs at £60, for example, that is per head, not for the whole pen. Pedigree stock are still sold in guineas. That is not a pound, it's £1 and 5 pence. So make no mistake, when you're bidding in guineas, it's £1 and 5 pence when you go to settle your purchases in the office. Yes, the auctioneer will make it clear at the start of the sale that they're being sold in guineas, so make no mistake, you have to pay attention. When the sale starts, make sure you know what you're doing and what you're bidding on. It's always a good idea to introduce yourself to an auctioneer if you're new to the market. This helps the auctioneer know who you are and what kind of stock you're going to be bidding on. You'll know if you've successfully bought some livestock. The auctioneer will clearly call out your name and your farm name. The clerk that's beside the auctioneer will then feed this into the computer, which is sent through to the office, which helps you settle your purchases later on. A tip for a first-time buyer would be sit in the audience clearly and wave your hand nice and clear to make sure you're not missed. Top tips for sellers: have a reserve price on your stock, so you know if they're not going to make that price, you can take them home. You can come up and stand next to the auctioneer and give him a story about your stock before they're sold. We're now standing in the lairage facility at Thainston Mart. For the likes of crofters on the islands, the cattle or sheep might have to be here a day or two prior to the sale. So that's not a problem. As long as they book it in with a member of staff or an auctioneer here, they can be here, they're bedded, fed and watered a couple of days before the sale. Once the sale is finished, if you've bought cattle or sheep, you come into the office to settle your bill. You will then be handed the passports and the relevant documentation for your stock. You also receive a pass and a movement document. These are essential, as the yard staff down the back won't let you away with your stock unless you have these with you. Arranging haulage. If you don't have haulage for your animals, you can speak with one of the members of the team and we can help arrange haulage for your stock to go home. Sellers can come in here and get a copy of their sales roll. that the sale roll then clearly states their average price, weight, and who have bought their stock. This is where you also pick up your cheque at the end of the day.